Hey everyone! So, first note, I just have to say to you, Maddie, I am extremely jealous of your entire vacation. Not only that, I am extremely jealous that you have the kind of mom that will hang out with you in London and go pub crawling with you. Just had to say that. So, this week I'm going to talk about tips for a happy, healthy relationship, since I kind of think I have a pretty good relationship, so I'll share. I wrote down like 5, this is my awesome list. I wrote down a couple things. So, 1, a good sense of humor, I think, is monumentally important in any relationship, because if you can't laugh at situations that are going on, or at least laugh at yourself, you're going to get in far more arguments than is even necessary at all. Another tip I thought of was be able to compromise. So that's what a relationship is. All you're doing, it's a series of compromises constantly, which is kind of hard for me. I'm a pretty stubborn person, and I like to get my way all the time. I always think I'm right. Well, I don't always think I'm right. I always am right, pretty much. So compromising for me is probably one of the most difficult ones. Communication is another one I thought of. And this is probably the one that me and my girlfriend have the most difficult time with, just because neither one of us know how to communicate properly, or we don't like to communicate. We just rather would stew on things or not talk about them at all. But if you don't talk about things, that's when they're going to start like building up and eating away at you inside, and then they're going to turn into, you know, something that doesn't mean anything at all, or something tiny, like they left a shoe on the ground, is going to like turn into something major and explode if you don't ever talk about them. And along with that, I guess you could lump in like being willing to talk about the future. I mean, if you've only been dating the person a week, you might not want to jump into the fact that you want to have 10 children, because that might freak them out a little bit, but being able to talk about what your goals are for the future, so you guys know if you're ever going to be compatible, is important at some point. Also, that was my girlfriend's head. As she crawls past to avoid being in the... I feel like this is a theme. Let's see how many times my girlfriend tries to sneak by being in my video every week. So talking about the future, and also listening. So not just talking, but listening to the other person as well is really important. And then my 4th tip would be making everything into a team effort. So just because, you know, you're not single anymore, it's not all about you. It has to be about the other person as well. And I guess this is kind of the same as compromising, but just remembering that, you know, you're not the only person in this relationship. There is another person as well. And my 5th tip would be another one that I struggle with, because it goes along with the fact that I'm always right, is being able to admit to your mistakes. Because if you can't ever admit that you're wrong, you're going to have a whole lot of problems. And that's something that I've had to learn to be a lot better about, is admitting the fact that I am occasionally wrong. So, I'm getting glared at now. Really, it's hard to give advice for relationships, because every single one is different, but I think in general these ones could apply to everybody. I think really the biggest one is just having a good sense of humor. If you can learn to laugh at the little things and just let them go and not have to make everything into a fight, it'll turn, you know, pretty much any situation into a lot happier. So I have to go to a work party, and I know Shawnee is super excited to go hang out with a bunch of Geek Squad nerds. Yay! So yeah, I will see you guys next week, and I hope you had a fantastic New Year's, and I'll see you next Sunday.